As long as you focus on
Guys, I gotta go dip. John Kitover, you stay sharp, brother. Princessy, I love you. Peace out, guys.
Bye.
I'm just saying, control the communication. Like, get into education, and then you can, if anybody ever says anything to you like, oh, hey, I found this video of you, and you can be like, oh, well, did you watch this video?
Yeah.
Make it professional.
Yeah. I wrote a tweet about it yesterday. It's just like a lot of venom. That's what I see. It's just like it's ugly. Like it's just venom. And then the responses are venom back,
Yeah, well, change the messaging and change the feedback. You don't have to dwell on this one moment. It's only a small snippet of your entire life.
Yeah, but I thought I was going to Rikers.
You thought you were going to Rikers?
Isn't that what you told me?
I mean, I'm joking around. Whatever happened with the lawsuit?
With my charges?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't say. It's going to be ops listening.
Oh, like anybody cares. Welcome back.
Sucks.
Welcome to life, where nobody cares about you unless there's gossip to be had.
I know, right? Is Abby still one of your listeners?
She might be, but I don't talk to her actively. I mean, she's messaged me on X like once or twice, but I don't pay her any attention. She's whatever his face's name is.
What?
Diogenes.
That's his phone?
That's his girl, and she's his. She's in love with him in the same way that you're in love, supposedly, with Diego.
I don't think that she's in love with him the same way I'm in love with Diego.
Oh, your love is better?
I think my love is pure. And
Oh my God, you're so stupid.
Yeah, I don't want anything. I just want him to be well and good, and I'm just grateful that I've met him and know him.
Yeah, that's called being a friend.
Okay. Well, then I love my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I heard a lot of people around here in Chicago. Are you gonna meet them?
no. Why would I meet them when I can just talk to them here? What's the point?
I guess because they know what you look like. You don't know what they look like.
I'm happy to keep it that way. They've wasted my time here enough. It's like, why would I want to meet them in the real world? I'm busy. I just busted my ass over the past couple of days. I've had an infection. I've been sick. What's the point of meeting up with somebody? Because people just
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. But people want to drink, and that's the thing. People are social. Oh, it's like, I want to control my environment. I don't want to, be controlled by the environment. And people are that environment, so.
Yeah, let me ask you, why are you being so anti-Islam lately?
Because I've been hearing all these crazy hadiths, and I'm like, this is so fucking crazy. This is stupid. This is childish. This is ridiculous.
Listen, if somebody's picking like some hadiths that other people don't know about, aren't you suspicious of like, okay, where's this hadith from? What does it mean? Like, there's so many hadiths. I don't even know what the number is, but it's bigger. The corpus is more massive than the Quran.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot. It's just stuff I've never heard before, ever, and I never heard it in the media because it's inflammatory, because it's ridiculous, and so.
And you have to ask yourself, why do they know it? It's because it is like there's something intentionally they're looking for it. Like the average Muslim doesn't know this stuff. Like,
I know. I agree. I see Muslims all the time, and I know that they don't know about any of this shit. So that's why I find it so interesting, because it's so ridiculous.
But it's not part of the religion.
I know. It's like a cultural thing. So it's
no,
just...
those hadiths. So it's like for example, what's one of the hadiths that you're talking about?
How Muhammad had a threesome. How Muhammad...
No, he didn't have a threesome.
A lot of this stuff... Well, anyways, I'm just saying...
He didn't have a threesome because it's haram to have a threesome. So if he had it, it wouldn't be haram.
Well, I could show you the hadith. Do you want to see?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm not going to because that's not my thing. Like other people are discussing it, and I'm not the one who is creating. I'm recording the content, but I'm not the one creating it.
You've been very nice today. What's with the difference?
What with you right now?
Yeah, you've been like a lot nicer than you usually are.
I don't have anything against you personally.
No, I don't know. You seem different. Maybe it's because you've been sick and you had the infection.
Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, when you get a taste of mortality, all that you realize how stupid all this is even more because you're like, oh, like I can't even walk. I'm gonna die. Why am I fucking causing all this drama? What a waste of time.
Yeah, but you can walk, right?
Now I can, yeah.
You couldn't walk before at all?
No,
Wow, that's awful.
it's very scary. You're like,
I
can't believe it. Like I can't
How long
walk.
could you not walk for?
Like 4 days.
No way. That's awful.
I mean, I could walk, but I can't walk without extreme pain. So basically, you can't walk.
And you have a sciatic nerve going?
No, it's a gout infection.
Gout?
Yep. They call it piss foot.
Wow.
Your blood, like your blood takes in all the uric acid, and then it's like walking on glass.
Oh my god, sounds awful. I've been sick for the last couple weeks. I haven't been going to the gym. But not as sick as you are.
Yeah, I'm gonna start going to the gym like probably tomorrow.
What's going on with your dates?
I'm not like text messaging anybody. You know, like I was seeing this one girl from Germany, and she moved back to Germany, and then I'm just like on Hinge. They deleted my Hinge, then I got my Hinge account back. It's so stupid. But since I got
What's
sick,
your Hinge?
I don't know. I was spamming people saying copy and paste. You know, you want to go to the beach? You want to go to the beach?
I know I can't do that. Oh my god.
Yeah. So, but then I got sick, and I was like, well, you know, I like to drink, so that's part of the problem. It's like I have to slow it down.
Yeah. It's not good.
Yeah, alcohol is basically poison.
You're out from you.
You know, Muslims, they say they don't drink, but they drink. We drink on special occasions.
Muslims, they say what?
Muslims say they don't drink, but they drink.
I mean, I don't drink, but I drank when I was in Vegas.
Exactly. See what I'm saying? Like, you drink.
Well, but I know I wouldn't have normally done it. I just did it because I was in Diego.
Yeah, exactly.
And I shouldn't have done it because it was really hard on my head. I thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
And it was just red wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It speeds you up, you know, it activates your neural network in your brain, so you have to deal with that. And, you know, if you study, if you read books, like that's one good way to use the alcohol. But
Really?
most people
You
just,
drink every day, don't you?
you know, I haven't had a drink in the past couple days in the way that I usually drink, but, I mean, I have been pushing it hard. But when you have a health infection because of that, it makes you think, maybe I overdid it.
Yeah. It's hard. Like, you have to take your health very seriously and just be happy.
Yeah. You can, you know, I don't know, there's a formula, you know, and it takes consistency and discipline. But honestly, like all this wasted effort in communication, especially about a million different things or top 10 things,
Wait, hold on.
it's just such a waste of time.
Wait,
People will waste their time so
hold on.
much.
This is what what's his goo just sent me. Can I read it? He wrote one last thing and then the capital letters. Jesus is God. Jesus is the Logos incarnate. No one goes to the Father except through him. You love the Lord Jesus Christ and are obsessed with him because you subconsciously true Catholic faith.
You
What do
know,
you think of that?
I mean,
What do you think of
he might not be right, he might not be wrong. I don't know. I mean, I can't. No, I don't think anybody knows for sure, but I think a lot of people at the end of their lives they go that route because they're like, well, what downside do I have? Let's try it. You know, it's all
To be honest,
experimentation.
when I think I'm gonna die, I feel like the need to say my shahada. I don't
Well,
think if I
that's your programming. You know, if you didn't receive that programming, you wouldn't be thinking that way.
but I program myself.
Yeah, well, that's your program. I don't know what to tell you. Like, our brains are just computers, and what programs we use is how we do it. That's how we do
I
life.
mean, are you really a Jew? What are you? Because I feel like you're not a Jew.
No, my
Like in
mom's not a
theology.
Jew.
No, I don't believe in ethnicity. I mean in religion.
I like Jewish books because they're full of wisdom, and so from that aspect, you could call me Jewish. But then I could read Christian stuff and then be like, oh, he's a Christian. You know, like to me, it's all the same wordplay with different objects or pronouns or you know, it's
You're a perennialist.
what's a perennialist?
Where you find God like in all the paths, see God in everything.
Yeah,
I think.
they call it like the Holy Line. So there's like many paths to the same, you know.
Yeah, that's perennialism.
But it's still words, and it's in English. Because, like, I can read Rumi, and then I can become a Muslim. And I'm like, oh, Rumi makes sense, you know? And so, all these things make sense. But when you hear those hadiths, you're like, whoa, this shit is stupid. It's crazy. It's cringe. You know, is this a joke? Like, is this comedy? Are they, like, making fun of it?
The hadith are, like, there's so many, and there's people that had intentions, like they had their motive of why they would claim what something was said. That's why you can't just, I don't know, you can't be a layman looking at hadith.
Can't be a layman. Anybody can read any of this shit. There's no advanced knowledge necessary. It is what it is. Ridiculous.
You can't be a layman. I guess you can be a layman, but you have to be very, very critical of what you're reading. Like the idea that Muhammad had a threesome. Come on, that's ridiculous.
Okay, let me ask you this. You're very sensitive about this topic. Now, if we were to change the topic from Islam to Christianity or Judaism, do you think I would be emotionally or sensitive about the topic? No. So,
I'm not emotional. I just think it's ridiculous to for somebody to believe that Muhammad had a threesome and that there's a hadith that claims that.
I know, but do you think a Christian or a Jew would get offended if you were to dig into the Talmud or the Torah or anything and be hypercritical?
They'd 100% be hypercritical. I've seen it.
Well, see, that's my point, basically, is even if you're Jewish or Christian and you're going to get very upset about somebody's analysis and thus their negative analysis of what is in the information, it's just basically the same political bullshit. So, that's one way to look at, why you ask me why am I being critical of Islam. I'm not like really political about it. I mean, I'm just like shocked by it because I've never seen these interpretations or translations and these topics.
I mean, just because Sam is saying it doesn't mean it's true.
No, I don't. Take Sam out of the equation. Just show me the information. I don't want to hear it in his voice because he's doing comedic type stuff. He's changing his voice. He's doing like character bits. So just show me the screenshots, and then that's enough for me. And I'm like, okay, it's a waste of time because I could go to a mosque close by, and they're not looking at these things, talking about these things. So it's like a whole nother bunch of information which is not relevant to what they're doing or what they're talking about. So
Do you know what the 6 articles of faith are in Islam though, and how is that relevant to whether there's a claim that Muhammad had a threesome or not, and whether there's a hadith that says that?
I can't tell you what the 6 articles of faith are not.
Exactly, these are.
It's not exactly. I mean, I can Google it for you or just give it to you.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying that's what Islam is. It's not about whether Muhammad did or didn't have a threesome. Obviously he didn't because it would.
Listen, the guy fucking probably did a lot of shit, and I'm sure it wasn't all good. So I don't think that's up for debate. I mean, the guy was a warlord. The
No,
guy,
he wasn't.
he didn't kill a bunch of people.
He wasn't a warlord. Can you define a warlord?
Somebody who picks up a weapon and starts conquering in the name of God.
But that's not what he was doing.
It doesn't matter. There's enough history there where it's basically it is what it is. I don't know how to tell you this, but like I think all religions in a way are cults. So, some are less toxic than others, but and essentially they're all similar in the sense that if you believe in the sky god as opposed to like the universe, I don't think I think you're being more political. You have to depoliticize by going universal.
Do you think God is the universe rather than God being God?
I think it took the whole universe, which is infinity, which is God, to create our reality. It's possible that the universe is like an incubator, and our Earth and our solar system came out of, the entire cosmos, and that would technically be the All God or the All Father or Godfather, something to that extent in English. So there's a metaphysic. It's energy, and we are that energy. So, positive vibrations is the optimal choice. If you listen to people complaining, spreading political propaganda, making terrorist threats, that's negative energy, and I want to avoid it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I agree with you.
I mean, make flowers, make bees, make birds, make peace, make a
Or
garden.
just beautify yourself.
Yeah, start with yourself and then work from there. Because a lot of people have it the other way around, where they're trying to change the system as opposed to trying to change themselves first.
Yeah, no, I agree.
The system can try to change
Are we on
you.
YouTube, by the way?
Yeah, I'm live on YouTube.
Okay.
So, anyways, I mean, I don't think I'm like wrong, you know. But see, people are using the hadiths in the same way that we might talk about any other topic. So that's the thing, is where I can still be critical of a Muslim because I can be like, okay, now it becomes a you problem because you are the one who are gaslit by this topic, and you are the one who won't stop talking about it now. And so what Sam is doing, or what other people do, is that's how they create the most dopamine for themselves and for others. It's like a talk show. Every day there's a new topic, and so they choose this one gaslight topic to entertain themselves for the day and produce all their dopamine. But it's pathetic. Sam doesn't go to the gym, and then he has emotional crying spells because he's thinking about.
Should I go to a party? Speaking of the gym, or should I go to the gym?
Go to the gym. That's the party.
I should go to the party.
Go to
I haven't gone.
Go to the gym, then the party.
But the party started an hour ago.
Well, what are you gonna do there? You're just gonna eat and get fat.
I was gonna dress up.
Well, then go to the gym and then go late. That's how you do it. Show up late. Don't give the show away. Arrive late.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll let you take action. I hope this conversation has been beneficial for you.
No, it's like, where are you gonna go now?
To another room.
Wow, we can just leave.
Yeah, you got a party to go to.
It's not very good, like running party rates. If they kept the way it is, that would have been awesome. I don't know why the fuck you're doing it like what you're doing. Yeah, this just makes no sense to me. However, I can tell you this. The option change, very interesting, Rico. I'm gonna look into that more later because I can't say I'm an expert there. Otherwise, option change. Cannot select.
Bireysel alıyor onu yani ayrı. Tabii. Aynen öyle.
Forgot about yourself.
They kicked me. They kicked me because they put intellectual racism clown emoji. He just said people refuse to be intellectual racists or discuss racism intellectually. Isn't it political? Is it not political? And can you not be racist? It's basically a form of comedy.
The Chicago cheeseburger. What's the Chicago cheeseburger?
Do you want 2 beef patties or do you want 1 beef patty?
I like Kitover here, but you guys don't mod him because he'll end the room and you can kick him.
Right.
If you want to kick him, you can kick him.
That's right.
I'm just a punching bag.
Of clown house. Oh, I love Kitover. My child.
I'm not your sacrificial goat to be projected upon.
Yes, you are.
What else are you? Who else would it be?
No, you are. I mean, you're not. You're very mistaken.
Lou, what do you do with your time? Like, how do you spend your time in life?
Yeah, produce art that gets turned into content on your show.
I am the vehicle of your life. How is that possible? What do you do?
Rabbi,
Yeah?
whatever you do, sir. Is short interest in price like 100% negatively correlated? Like, can we confirm that or no?
Is what?
Short interest ratio and price action, is it 100% negatively correlated, or how can we confirm this?
But not necessarily. You cannot confirm that. There is a non-linear correlation between the two.
See, that's not really that reliable then.
It is with that.
It's guarantees. It's amazing.
It's something you take isolated of all other things. Just an indicator. Like, for example, you can have a very high short interest, which means that people are selling it, they're shorting it without acquiring it as an edge. Okay, so that's an indicator on its own. Does that mean the stock price goes down? Well, has an effect lowering down the stock price, but if, let's say, there's in higher magnitude people buying the share, aside from shorting. So
Isn't that something happened at GameStop? Like it was like shorted too much and there was no supply of a GameStop stock and it ballooned up when all that Rory Kitty situation happened.
like, let's just say so there's more Americans than Canadians. Everyone in Canada is shorting the stock without buying it. So you have a lot of short interest. However, you have Americans who are all buying it. So then the stock goes up, it doesn't go down. Anyways, I'm just like, it's an indicator. That's what I'm saying.
Our second child? You're right, you should tell people about that. I agree. I take it back. Nobody listen to that. Anyway, El Normal.
No, nigga, I'm talking about the fact that
Oh, so you do want to talk about our second child? What is it? Make it sense. Make sense, sweetheart. Thank you. But why would you not tell people that you're an author? That doesn't make any sense.
That's not how I want to present on Clubhouse, sir.
You don't want to present as an author?
No, I do not.
Oh, that's crazy.
Women, they could be private, you know?
Agreed. It's just counterintuitive.
And if she's here just, chilling and trolling, you're fucking it up for her because then people are gonna fucking dox her because they're gonna know who is she. I mean, she doesn't want that.
I don't know who she is, so.
Do you have anything to say about the,
I want to ask El Normal about his writing process. Do you write every day?
can we talk about the title of the room?
Most days, but not every day.
What do you think about Stephen King?
Besides the fact that he's prolific,
Besides the fact that he's prolific, very prolific.
yeah, maybe too prolific, like, it's good, but it starts to feel like product after a while. Certainly, like, the first, I don't know what, 20 books or something.
Yeah.
still a cokehead? Because that's what got him through all his writing.
No, he's been sober for, I would say, more than 25 years. And then remember, he got hit by a van, too, and that sort of changed his life, and he had to fight his way back. What? Yeah, he was jogging, right? Is that it? He was jogging? Jogging or walking, I can't remember. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. Well, look at the great films that have been made from his stuff, man. It's a good
And he's
story.
hated Donald Trump, and he's hated Donald Trump ever since.
Ever since what? I mean, everybody in New York hates Donald Trump. Always did. I mean, they used to make fun of him. They called him a short-fingered vulgarian. But they just mocked him because he was obviously very
I
career.
don't even know what that means.
Well, for some reason his fingers look stubby, and vulgarian is just somebody who's vulgar. This was that part of it. This was his Spy magazine used to mock him. I mean,
No one in the street called Trump any of that.
in the
Nobody.
street. Well,
Regular people.
at first they looked up to him because he was rich, but then he became sort of a subject of mockery because he was too out there. He used to do things like call up the newspaper and pretend to be his own publicist. You can see a movie about him called The Apprentice, where he apprentices himself to a very dishonest, manipulative lawyer named Roy Cohn. It's a good film to watch, especially if you like.
Donald Trump was well respected from his Robin Leach Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Remember those?
Yeah,
To his prominent New York bad boy Ivanka, Ivana Trump era.
My life.
To go ahead. Go ahead.
No, there was a.
Kick me from the room.
Yeah. I still have a bag, don't worry.
He has he has now $100 and that was too long. Oh, God.
A little more than that.
If you're trading with money that you can afford to lose, don't be afraid to lose. You learn more from losing money, believe it or not.
Well, I have more than you, and must be why.
I don't think so.
I have one more than
You said 8,000, so I don't think you know. 10,000. No, you said you have 8,000, so you don't.
No, I do have 1,000, yes.
Yeah, so you don't have more than me now. So.
Well, I still said that I can measure.
Well, how much do you have?
A little more than that, but not much.
Why can't you just share how much? I say, I hate secrets.
Here. Right now, it's literally like 1,000.
that house on Bolton, Mrs. Tremaine.
So 40 shares. 40 shares of MSTY.
What you got there, Mr. White?
You fucking faggot.
That
Against Bernstein, they actually are struggling with
He says BA, right? That's the ticker.
AB. They're struggling when it comes to dividends.
this one called.
It used to be much better. Verizon is stable. AT&T is really going down like crazy. Why the fuck did you go down?
This guy said if I used one of his songs.
But this is my new favorite metric is short interest.
That's because we retarded.
We're retarded.
It's a nice metric.
Well, it can tell you a lot.
This is why brother deal with to get split into two companies.
AT&T is split into companies.
AT&T has a subsidiary called as a Warner Brothers. That's going to get split up into two, like but the HBO Max and the streaming part is going to be one part, and the other part is going to be the TV thing with all its other content. and then they recently did a re-buyback of a debt of around $17 billion from JP, and then they are also going to issue some junk bonds. They are planning to get some junk bonds for resettlement of the funds because they were $34 billion in debt. The Warner Brothers, and basically Warner Brothers is a part of AT&T.
That's right.
Dude, the captions on this app are flawless. Holy shit.
The what?
Nothing. The captions. Look at the captions on this. I don't understand what he's saying. You got it perfect. You got it perfect with that. Serious.
Where do you find them? Oh, show captions. Let's look at it.
That's impressive.
Oh man. Distribution. I mean, it could be, look man, it could actually be better. And shit, I would love to reach out to spread it after I finish. Talk to this guy. That's right. You can just chat him up in the comments. Like in the chat, he'll respond all. No, like what I mean is maybe help him build this.
Light-skinned niggas, bro. Always. They always. That's where my hate came from. Always a light-skinned nigga up in the front seat.
It looked just like he be doing that shit.
As you're talking about it,
Asking me who was laughing.
I want to know who you say.
Wait,
who
why?
you think it was. I want to know what your perception is.
I think it was those people who were laughing and pointing that I could hear listening to the video.
Who was it though? It was me.
Why does that matter? Okay, so you.
I want to know what your perspective is as you characterize the event.
Right, but like I don't understand.
Why do I need to know? To better
Why are you asking
somebody.
me questions, Jake?
Jesus Christ.
You're just like mean to Alvito, and then you think you're just gonna ask me a bunch of questions, bro.
All right, bro. Let you off the hook.
The hook, yes. The captain hook.
Mm-hmm. So
You
yeah,
guys get this stuff with like the tactical dumbasser tags. Like, do you know? I just want, like, I assume you realize how transparent it is when people do that. Pretend not to know what somebody's talking about. You know,
I don't know what
it's
you're
transparent to
talking
fucking
about.
everybody. In fact, it's like the weird thing is that I think people have like internalized their own cringe when they're on the same screen with people who do that shit all the time. It's like wild. Like I don't know. I feel like I explained.
What are you talking about now?
What do you mean by talking about?
What's transparent, Sully?
You gotta like listen more. You know, paying more attention is good as well.
I'm listening now.
Oh, fantastic, JJ.
What's transparent?
I said it. Why are you asking me these fucking questions? Just pay attention next time, and then you won't.
Somebody else explain what he's talking about, please, then. Nobody else can.
Okay, that was a solid inference.
But yes, sir.
Like, it's kind of wacky because, like, people are so fucking, like, defensive and like egotistical. Like, it's the same people who like to point and laugh at Albedo in their little safe space, who like won't go anywhere, you know, except just hide in this fucking room and will like cower from having their positions criticized and will pretend not to know anything in order to have no burden of proof for like any claim they make. And then just like they point and laugh at everybody and like act superior. It's kind of fucking wild.
Jeez, talk about cringe. Really?
Yeah, indeed, talking about cringe. Right? Like, this is the kind of shit that's just like so transparent. And it's like, you see it, and then you have to internalize the cringe that shit causes you. You!
What about me? I have to internalize what?
Sounds like you're not listening. It's like a serious.
I'm listening. I don't understand. Who are you talking about? My ego?
Just answered that.
You're talking about my ego.
I just said that. Are you listening?
It's not clear. Since you can't say yes, I'll take that implication. Go on.
It's just like, you're not going to defend Jack. And you're not going to defend anything. And you want to like mock another guy. Like, you're going to give me a meme argument, right?
Well,
like, you're going to give me some fucking meme if I ask you what you believe or why, right? And then you have people who are like genuine, like Albedo, who you fucking dipshits like point and laugh at and mock. It's ridiculous.
well,
Like, you have no shame. It's crazy.
if he's slapping himself in the face with a fish, yeah. People are gonna laugh at that.
Oh my god.
You don't even believe. You think Albedo's position silly, right?
Oh, that makes it. Yeah, did you hear what I just said though?
Yeah, you
Like,
think
did you hear what I just said? Of course, I think it's silly.
okay.
I also think what you guys did was just like ridiculous.
I mean, we were just inquiring.
There's no reason to fucking sit here and point and laugh as a group. Like, basically circle around Albedo and point and laugh at him for 40 minutes and then upload it to YouTube. It's like, and you guys are just like, what do you mean we're mean to Albedo?
Well, I mean, I think we were harsh on Albedo, but
You weren't even there.
the view was pretty silly. And so, you know, silly views sometimes deserve a little bit of humiliation.
Yeah, I agree, but why isn't that like, you know, a person who is like willing to talk about their silly views and, you know you guys for this long,
Yeah.
you know, who also, like I said before, he's like Switzerland whenever there's like beefing going on. He's like always very like, you know, neutral towards like the Tom Rabbit people or whatever you want to call yourselves. So it's like,
Nobody
you know,
calls
okay, yeah,
themselves Tom
he
Rabbit
just,
people. You do.
I don't know if you heard what I fucking said, okay? I said, or whatever you call yourselves.
I know.
Okay, do you understand fucking words?
I do,
All
but
do.
I'm clarifying, nobody calls themselves rabbit people.
That's like a non sequitur. Complete non sequitur. Anyway,
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you understand. I said just Tom Rabbit people or whatever you want to call yourselves.
I
Meaning
do
there's a
understand
difference
that.
between those two things. Yeah.
I
Okay,
know.
thanks, JK. How about you mute?
I'm
No, you're not going to mute, but you're going to keep interrupting me? Yeah? No?
elaborating
What are we doing here? Okay.
that you can throw out the ones that call themselves Tom Rabbit people.
I didn't say anybody called themselves that.
Oh my god.
You understand?
Yeah, but the way that you
No, the way I said it doesn't imply that anybody calls themselves that. You're just a
It does,
moron.
actually.
It doesn't at all, actually. It doesn't at all.
or whatever.
If I say the Tom people or whatever you call yourselves means there's a difference between what you call yourselves and what I said in the first discussion. Fucking idiot.
Right. It accounts for whatever you call yourselves, including Tom Rabbit people.
Okay. Just stop talking before you
I
hurt
hope
yourself.
that's clear to everybody.
Okay. Sit down, JK.
listening.
Okay, listen with your mic muted.
I've already said, like, yeah, like, you're right on a lot of these accounts. Albedo is like Switzerland. Albedo is a nice person. Albedo is very sincere. But on the same hand, this view seems pretty crazy. And, like, I don't understand, like, maybe we were a little harsh on him, but it is a pretty crazy view. And, like, I'm not
Okay,
sure
look,
why
okay, look,
there's so
what
much
part of it is
pushback.
crazy? It's like, if somebody, again, like, okay, somebody's like, is it crazy, or is this part of it crazy? Is it crazy that somebody is like, you know, seeking God, and they think, like, you know, they're like approaching a belief in God and looking for it? Is that crazy by itself?
No.
Okay. So he's in that state, okay? And he's praying to God, and he's like praying for signs because he wants to believe, and he's seeking it and whatever. And then this thing that, at least by his life, like for all he was aware of at the time, right? Now maybe there is some weird thing going on in the background, right? But for what he was aware of at the time, this like crazy, improbable thing happens to him, and he's somehow like making associations between that, and he's seeing sort of like some weird religious coincidences in it. Okay. And it's like, okay, yeah, if all that's the case for this guy, and that pushes him towards theism, that makes sense for that guy, right? So in that case, it's not that crazy, right?
So it makes sense. Wait a minute. I do think it's crazy. You're just saying it's not crazy for the person who has crazy views.
We went through and said what the views were, and you didn't say any of them were crazy, right? You agreed that, like, it's not crazy to be, like, seeking, I'm in the middle of talking. It's not crazy to be seeking God or whatever. You said that. And then I assume you don't think it's crazy that, you know, he thought the odds were what they were at the time. Right? I mean, we looked into this, and, like, as far as the publicly available data goes, you're saying nothing that I used to make the inference was crazy, and then you said, oh, so yeah, somebody could believe something if they had other crazy views. Like, what are the crazy views that I mentioned?
Yeah, so if a person has a view that their probability of them winning something, somehow it provides them ample evidence that they now believe in God. And somebody that I know is not.
It's not the whole basis of this
I don't know why
entire.
you're. Okay, you know what?
I'll look at evidence.
Okay, how about, like, I'll let you talk and then you let me talk. All right, I'll shut up. Go ahead.
No, go on. But like you said it as if like he was a complete agnostic, and then this happened, and then he came to believe in God. Right? That's.
Okay, well, in the room that when we just talked to him, JJ even asked him that was there like this other evidence that plus this led to you believing in God, and he said no, it was the Yeezys. Like, he may have been agnostic, but it's this experience with the Yeezys that made him believe. So it's not like this is like you know, oh, it's like this plus like 20 other things. It's this thing. You gotta ask about that.
I think that it's this thing that tipped him over the edge. Right.
Well, I'm just responding to what Albedo said. JJ's here. They actually asked him that question.
Okay, I don't. Jesus Christ, is this really that complicated for you guys? You think he was that like 50-50 on whether God existed, and then this happened, and then he just went to full theism immediately?
Yeah. Okay. So you think it's more reasonable that when he says, I won the shoes 7 times in a row, the shoes that like I enter a raffle that I have to pay up front, and I gotta pay for the shoes, and
no, you don't pay up front. He said that too. See, I don't know if you were listening. He said you sign up to pay, basically, right? You have to show that you're going to pay.
You actually prepay.
What happens if you don't get the shoes? Do you get your money back?
Yeah, after 14 days you get the money back. Yeah.
No, I'm saying you pay the full price. Like,
Yeah, you pay the full price. Yeah, you pay. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I'm just saying that, like, all this discussion of what are the odds of this, and what kind of shoes are they, and, like, it's 1 out of 1,500 to win this, etc., all just seem to be, like, you guys are trying to make an argument that it's so unlikely, therefore,
You just looked it up. That's all we did.
Okay, yeah, you looked it up. So, on one side is the accuracy of that, and on the other side is God. And so I'm saying you could just be fucking wrong. The information you're looking at is wrong. It could be that Adidas didn't fucking do any of that bullshit, and that they were actually, it's like 90% chance. That's more likely than what we are saying, that it was like 1 in a billion chance, therefore this is like some credible credence towards God. I think it's more likely these other things. It's not some fucking like Powerball where everything is like regulated. It's some company that's trying to fucking sell their shit that they've already explained is like their own strategy. It's like
Jason, calm the fuck down, man. Just calm the fuck down. It could just as easily have been a really improbable thing. It could have been that, and you know what I would say, that it would be a stupid argument for God. It would be a stupid argument for God.
So you agree?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, obviously, I said that like 10 times.
Great, we agree then.
Yeah,
we agree.
But yeah, what we disagree about is the way you treated Albedo. What do you think I've been saying this?
Okay, alright, fine.
Well, keep in mind,
Okay, wild.
it doesn't happen.
No, fuck off, Sully. Don't be like fucking wild. Like now you're just.
It is fucking wild. It's like you're trying to have the debate with me, and then I think if it is.
I'm not trying to debate with you. Look, you agree with me that it's a fucking stupid ass way of looking at this. What you just take umbrage with is that people said, "Wow, this is a fucking stupid ass way of looking at it." To Albino himself.
I think you treated Albedo like shit. I think you treated Albedo like shit. So obviously, I think you could talk to him about this. You know,
I don't think Jason treated him like anything. I don't think Jason treated him like anything. Jason, did you talk to him?
Yeah, I did, but like I don't think I.
You guys like never take any fucking responsibility for anything you do.
You guys.
Yeah, you two, and basically everybody else that orchestrates those kinds of shit shows and then posts people on YouTube who are nice to you. These people are nice to you.
Who organized what? Sorry, Jason.
No, that's fine. I'm sorry.
That's what you're talking about. Albedo came in. I want to talk about some arguments. They said 3 arguments. I want to start with the least controversial one.
In the fucking video, he is voicing his discomfort with being mocked and ridiculed and laughed at, and even says, "Oh, you're like pandering to an audience right now, right? Like you're playing it up for the audience when you talk, right? He's going in there trying to have a normal fucking conversation with you guys. It's crazy. Like you guys are just being assholes.
Which we did. Well, I mean, I wasn't an asshole to him. I laughed.
Oh my god. Yeah, you take. Okay, I get it. You take no responsibility for anything. Okay, I get it. You can be a child. I'll treat you like a child. You're an innocent little child.
What am I not taking responsibility for? Sounds to me like I am taking responsability for laughing at him. I told you why, and I told him that I felt bad I felt like I shouldn't be. I feel bad about it. I don't know.
You should feel bad. You should feel bad.
I know. That's why I told him.
It doesn't seem, you don't have the affectation of a person who feels bad. You seem like you don't actually feel bad.
I don't think you understand what personality is. But,
right. Like the kind of thing a person who couldn't think of anything would need to say, would say.
Once you felt
what? What does that mean? What did you ask me 2 seconds ago? I'm not listening to anything happening in this company.
It's more of a, why are you saying that? Go ahead.
Once you felt bad, by the way, welcome, Anki Jovan. Good to see you, sir. But when you started to feel bad, JJ, did you and all of the miscreant bullies, did you guys rally to get Tom to not post the video or to take it down?
I didn't have any control of that. I didn't know.
They all love it and are in favor of it and listen to it in the room after it was posted. They're all cheering, and then they're like, you know, when you push back on it, I'm not associated with this. This has nothing to do with. No, I'm not in the video. No one knew Tom was making a video until 10 minutes before he posted it. Oh my god.
What is he talking about?
I do agree, it's a dumb view. I don't know why you're fucking pushing back.
Okay, you do, because I already explained that nothing I'm saying has anything to do with whether I think it's a dumb view.
Right.
In fact, I already sort of told you that's not even close to what we've been talking about here. I've been saying that you guys mistreated Almeida.
Okay.
I don't understand that. I already told you I think it's a dumb.
But wait a second, let's just get clarity. Like, how
By laughing at him?
Yeah, how do we mistreat it? Just go ahead with that.
I'm sorry, you guys like have fucking ears? You have ears? I've explained it 6 times.
Do you answer the question?
I think it.
Do you think if I do it one more time and then you ask me again that I'm obligated to answer you? Hey, will I be obligated to fucking answer you if you ask me again after I explain it again?
Depends on if you are clear this time.
I already answered it. You understand? That's why I'm not doing it again.
You clear something.
The idea is Albedo is generally very deferent to all you guys. He shows deference to all you guys, and he came in very non-hostile, non-combative. He's not in it for blood sport. He was just in there to try to talk to you guys and be reasonable, or have a conversation, hang out. And it turned into kind of like a schoolyard bullying of all of you guys, mocking and laughing at him. I think that's what Sully's saying. I kind of got that vibe too. He didn't fight you guys. It's like he's not even punching you. He's not calling you names. He's not doing anything. You guys are just like literally like, you're an idiot. You're an effing idiot, Albedo. That's the kind of vibe.
Yeah, everybody told him that.
Okay. All right. Tom is. You got to keep in mind. Tom is extremely cynical. Like, he's extremely denigrating, and I think you guys kind of.
Are you just talking about Tom?
No, I'm saying you guys are we're part of the vibe. I think that's what Sully's saying.
Part of the vibe.
Yeah, the vibe of bullying.
Listen, I heard. You're just talking about Tom at this point, and I was there.
No, I'm not.
You are. But you are.
Listen to what I just.
You are just talking about Tom.
Tom is a. Listen to what I'm talking.
And I told him.
Tom is a.
And I think others told him.
Wait,
he was a little harsh.
Tom is consistently cynical, and he's over the top on a lot of this stuff.
Well,
I kind of fed off the vibe at this time, is what I'm saying. And I'm saying, I think Albedo's just not the person. Like, he doesn't seem like he's the person, at least not this occurrence, certainly, that it should have been like, hey, like he's just laying down, feeling kind of humiliated or whatever, and you guys are just like kicking it and laughing at it. That's kind of how it felt. But whatever. I'm not, whatever. I don't know where to go from there. I just tell you guys that's what I think Sully's saying, and I think I see that too. I think Albedo is like generally cool to everybody over there, so I don't know. Anyway.
Well, I wasn't mean to him. I didn't call him a fucking idiot. I told him I felt bad laughing. Told you why I was laughing. To me, mean implies malicious intent, which of course I didn't have. I'm not going to speak for you guys or anybody else but myself. That's taking accountability, Sully.
Multiple times I was like, I was trying to appeal to Albedo's sensibilities because I was like, wait, Albedo, come on, let's look at this reasonably. Like, do you think it's reasonable to have a view that, like, the fact that this was so improbable means that, like, it's supernatural? And he was like, Jason, provide me with the evidence. What's the evidence that you have that, like, Adidas modified the raffle? I'm just like, look, even if I don't have evidence, it just seems like that would be more plausible than what you're suggesting. And so I think it was trying to appeal to that. And was I laughing? Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have laughed. So I agree with that. We probably could have not been like so harsh with that. And I agree, Albedo is a nice guy. And I DM'd him afterwards and was like, I'm sorry we were so harsh. I understand he felt.
Then you guys weirdly are excited that Tom posted it, and you're like, no, I just wanted to say, okay, yeah, we're gonna blast out this session that you guys apparently agreed. Sorry, you guys apparently agreed that you feel bad about.
Okay, you guys. You guys.
You know how, I don't know, you are just so bad at fucking tracking. Do you know how you get grouped in? Do you know how you get grouped in? I just fucking said this.
By proximity?
Right? You're happy about the video being posted.
When did I say that?
You wanted to be, oh my god, JJ, you're so fucking stupid. That is funny. Okay, do you have any objection to the video being posted?
Yep.
Oh, you do.
Should I go twist Tom's arm?
You're not going to be able to do anything, right?
Oh.
Because you have no influence or pull.
There you go.
You can at least say what you think, which is that he shouldn't have posted the video.
I wouldn't have posted it.
He shouldn't have posted it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And I think we agree. You guys feel bad as you should, and the video shouldn't have been posted. So I think we agree.
I didn't say that. I didn't say you shouldn't post the video.
Okay. So then the latter half of my critique still applies to you then.
But feel free to apply one person to the person's behavior to you guys all you want.
Okay. I can try not to be hard as shit like that again.
Try not to what?
Try not to be a part of it next time.
Well, whatever. Be a part of listening to his argument and laughing at it. I don't think I can be held accountable for laughing. It was.
I felt bad. Do we not feel bad anymore?
I do. No, I still feel bad.
Gotcha.
But it's not going to stop me from talking about it.
Why don't you try not to do things in the future that you'll feel bad for?
Some things you can't control. Finding something so ridiculous that it makes you laugh is one of those things, I think. I don't know if you listened to that. I was kind of wished you were there at the time. I think somebody might have pinged you even. After learning that he didn't just win them for free, he just won the opportunity to pay for them. I lauded. I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
but whatever. It's like if the odds of that are extremely low, it doesn't really matter, right? Because the point is that like people are showing they're willing to pay for them, you know, but not everybody's gonna get it there.
Yeah, I mean the number I heard was if it occurred when it's most likely to have occurred.
Like, look, I gotta switch to on
His chance of winning was 70%.
But I was still. No. Again, that was a different time. Ask Jane. He was in the other room when we were talking about it without.
Well, last night or whatever, he said he didn't know for sure, and then he threw out a number, which is very close to when that is. So the odds are much worse if it was before. Granted, I think it's more likely that he won when the odds were 70%.
Well, when it happened is probably something we could like confirm. I'm sure he has like some kind of.
I think he said he had the receipt, and I'm curious.
Or like an email or something. Yeah.
Yep. He's got
He
some
can
kind of
show
receipt.
the data.
He said he did. Or that he could find it, but I didn't. I haven't heard it since. Which is why I wondered when you were doing your calculations if you had that information, but I didn't hear that.
He said, well, they were going off the time that he told. You know, there was multiple people again who were like looking for stats. You know, and they were going off the time period that he had just said. It was like in I think 2022 or something. Right. So they were looking. Okay, at this time, you know, what were the odds in these concerts?
I think he said something about you could find the replay when he was talking about it the first time.
Maybe. these are all interesting questions, you know, and you guys could have had a nice sort of back and forth with Albedo. And obviously you can think he's silly. I think he's silly. And a lot of times I think he's silly. But it's like, I can have conversations with Albedo where I give him pushback. And I even, like, you know, say that things he's saying are silly or ridiculous, and I say that to your face. Okay? I don't get in a little circle with a group of people and start, like, pointing and laughing, going, haha, hee hee, you know. And he's calling it in the conversation. That's how it's, like, doing it performatively, like, for an audience. It's not as if, like, you guys couldn't have been, like, clued in to what Tom was doing. I don't think you're that fucking naive.
Totally, no one knew he was making a video. No one did. Like I said,
Okay, there's always the possibility of a video, Bill. What are you talking about?
I'm just reassured.
I can honestly tell you that it didn't cross my mind when I was listening to it, or 10 minutes, like I was surprised when he told me 10 minutes before it went live.
Okay, but
Yeah, and you guys pushed back.
Look, if people are giving him pushback on it, I think that's deserved. Okay, but like, you know, like Jason or Mr. Jason Jordan over here is like, oh, I think you should have fucking fuck out Vito. You know, it's.
Well, it's not ridiculous for somebody who doesn't like Albedo, apparently.
Why doesn't you like Albedo? What is fucking Albedo?
I don't know. I don't even know if he said that. I'm just saying that it wouldn't be weird for somebody who didn't like him. But I love Albedo, and I don't know. I'm just reassured that you don't sit around in a circle and point and laugh at people.
Yeah, I mean, it's the least I can do.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, sorry. For some reason, my shit was not working. I don't know if you heard what I was saying, but I was saying, look, when it was going on, I had no doubt that was going to get recorded, and I was thinking, this is probably going to get put online. And I don't, like, Albedo has to know, like, he's going to talk about this shit. It's a really quacky deal. It's probably going to get recorded, put online. So, that's
the nature of the conversation that gets recorded and have to be that kind of fucking conversation.
It wasn't out of context. They recorded it.
What do you mean out of context? I'm saying if you guys had like a normal, like fairly like polite conversation with him about it, right? It probably wouldn't even have any interest in posting it online because people were or something like that. I doubt Tom would have posted it. It was just a normal conversation without you know. You know. So it's obviously the way that the interaction went is what explains its being posted to you. Like, I don't know. It's like you guys again just don't want to take fucking any accountability. It's why.
Wait a minute.
It's why.
Wait a minute. I think the accountability is that the view is pretty crazy, and even you acknowledge it's a crazy.
You are like a broken fucking record, Jason.
You
just a non sequitur. Look, it's a non sequitur. I agree it was crazy. You still treated him like shit. Like, are you fucking stupid?
Okay, so I think we were harsh, but when you say treated him like shit, I'm not sure.
Yeah, you did. Treated him like shit. Exactly.
Okay, well then we can fucking disagree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
You said, okay,
it's crazy.
Again, and you said you're so bad about it.
What did we do?
It's like you can't get bullshit. You're like, yeah, I feel bad about how Vito was treated, but he wasn't treated like shit.
No, I felt bad. No, I didn't say that. I said I felt bad about laughing. And then I felt bad if it made him feel bad, but if the intent was not malicious,
when you
that's what I said.
You were treating them like shit.
Oh, well, you heard it here first.
Making them feel bad.
I'll give you an example, like at the very end of the conversation, which was probably overboard.
Some people deserve to be treated like shit. Albedo isn't one of them, just to be clear.
I don't agree that he was treated like shit by me.
Okay, then, oh my god, you fucking people are so stupid. Why did you feel bad then?
We're laughing.
You said you felt bad because you made it feel bad, right?
Huh?
Okay, when you make somebody feel bad, JJ, right?
Could you stop treating me like shit, please?
Some people deserve
Please
it.
stop treating
Albedo's not one of them.
Please stop treating me like shit.
Yeah, you don't know how to listen, man. I'm the literal 3-year-old.
Literal.
Totally. Can you hear me?
Yep.
So we treated him like shit. What's the example of treating him like
Oh
shit?
my god, Jason. When this show ends, go back and listen to the replay where I explained this to you multiple times.
Okay, fine.
Laughing at somebody is treating them like shit.
You guys just do this loop where you say the same non sequitur and then repeat the same question. It's getting a little bit fucking stale and boring now, so I think we can move on.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah. I did answer it already, right? So this is the second time I'm saying this now. I'm not answering it again because I already answered it.
I'm a dumbass.
And this is the second time I'm saying this now.
I'm a dumbass. I don't remember.
I know. This is why I said the Mr. Retreat can be dumbasses who can't track conversation, right? And you internalize your own cringe, buddy. You really did.
Oh, okay.
No, you're not just trying to know. You're not. You heard me explain this 6 fucking times. Andrew explained it to you, and then you keep asking the same question.
Makes you look bad. I'm saying I don't know what you said. You just can't tell me one fucking thing.
So why are you scared to remove? I answered that question multiple times, Jason.
I don't remember.
And you're a fucking idiot who needs to get a better memory.
So you can't tell me again?
Oh my god. You need to learn how to listen to what people are saying to you. I'm not going to tell you again. You can wait until this room ends if you're so fucking curious, and you can listen to me explain it to you multiple times before then.
Don't tell me then.
I already told you.
Yeah, okay, fine.
It's like, this is just like weaponized idiocy. Like they
I
kind
know.
of
I am aware.
just like Jason Torn, like, you know, he goes into his university to do like weather bullshit. And that's where he turns on his brain. Like in these conversations, like, oh, where am I? What did I do? What did you say? Where is anybody?
Thanks. Great response. That was really good.
What am I responding to? You're just saying you're like a retard who can't remember what happened 5 minutes ago.
Okay, well, maybe I am. I'm just asking so
Maybe you are.
Yeah, maybe I am. But so we can't tell me what
You're gonna forget in 5 minutes.
I'm not talking.
You're gonna forget in 5 minutes.
He refuses to repeat himself for the 6th time, so he's refusing to repeat himself for the 6th time. He's just refusing. What a dishonest asshole. He's refusing to repeat.
Jason, now say we're debate growing and we're triggered. Go ahead. Jason, say the line, please. Jason, hello? Debate growing, hello? Alright.
Anyway, slapping y'all around has been fun, but Andrew, if you want to move on, probably.
And you know, this like weaponized idiocy tactic is just like what really gets rewarded in their community. But just like you say obviously false things, and you get rewarded for clapping along. Get the fuck out of here, Bill. You idiot.
I don't know what that means, right?
Right.
Is Andrew there?
And oh, also, like, Heidi cheated on her husband with Venus and Daniel Nero. I just wanted to say that. should probably watch the video to know, like, or like watch more of it than what I heard Andrew play.
To nursing homes. Then, as you admitted this week, you personally altered the state health department report to undercount the death total, to hide the death total, and then evaded and lied to these families for 5 years. So, tonight, will you finally apologize to Peter and other creepy New Yorkers, or will you just keep gaslighting them with blather about what a great job you claim you did?
Maybe where you come from in St. Louis, that's not bad. But here they do. So let's talk about that. First of all, on nursing homes, 1.2 million people died of COVID in the United States. It's horrendous. 83,000 people died in the
It's acetaminophen and pomegranate, but just like with a diuretic, because it's a water thing, you gotta stay hydrated because it makes you go to the bathroom a lot.
Hey, what up, Coco? You stop selling out to the man?
Oh Lord, Coco, he wants you to fix his taxes. Just go in and delete it.
and works does not give enough credit to the women and men in those nursing homes who work so hard. Mr. Avini lost the father. I am very, very sorry for that. He brought a legal case against the state. The legal case papers there was no COVID positive person sent from a hospital to the nursing home while Mr. Pardini was in the nursing home. So it is factually impossible, Brad, that he got COVID from someone coming from us. Okay? Mr. Montgomery, I want to address something first, which is, you're going to ask a question or not? I'm going to ask a question, but it's more from New York than answer phone points. And to hear all of this, to hear all this about St. Louis, we have to just make this clear. Now, all of us on the stage, wait, what were you going to answer your questions? I'm asking you to answer call. Okay. I feel like most people would probably answer. I knew. We did. We both knew. We knew.
this shit is. It's gonna be interesting to see how this one plays out, bro. Shit.
Oh my. Damn. I'm getting too many notifications. Calm the fuck down. I gotta turn my notifications off. This shit crazy. Alright. Let me bring everybody up, my bad. Bring everybody up.
There's just this feeling
On
that
Twitter right now,
draws.
the trending topic on Twitter right now is pray for Israel when they're the aggressor right now. That shit is crazy.
Wait, not Mr. I support Donald Trump and the Republicans bemoaning this fact.
What the two got to do together? They have to do with each other.
Hey, Fridays,
Of course you know.
Fridays, remember when Iran said, I think it was like 4
Bring the normal here.
and then Israel got that dome, blew all that shit out the sky, like,
Yeah.
I don't think there's gonna be a balance around.
Yeah, I mean, Mickey, you say that as if the Democratic Party ain't
Do any of these news outlets outside of the U.S.? Because I just tried to look it up outside. I'm only seeing U.S.
Yes. Outside of the U.S. It says, breaking, Iranian officials tells the New York Times that Iranian fighter jets are now airborne.
Anybody in the Middle East, they told them New York Times.
Yeah, that's still it. What about Al Jazeera?
Iranian officials.
No, she said a news publication. Somebody look up Al.
Yes, the Spectator Index is from overseas. That's like Middle East.
What about
It's not American.
somebody look up Al Jazeera, because I'm driving.
That's what she said.
Hey, where do they get their fighter jets from? Did we give them that shit?
I think we sell about 40% of total weaponry. So I think because I looked at this during COVID, but that number may be off. Don't quote me on it. I can't confirm it, but I think it's something like that. Yeah, 40% U.S. companies. Because the Israelis are also very, skilled at weaponry, but I think it's something like U.S. companies.
I'm on Israel's side. Shout out to my Israelis.
Yo, you know.
Don't get their ass, Iran. Don't get their ass.
Wait, hold on, real quick. Let me do a poll. Put a gun emoji in the chat if y'all on Israel's side. Put a brain emoji in the chat if y'all on Iran's side.
Yo, what's going around on this?
Israel side. Yeah, wait, hold on. Y'all can't name 2 presidents or prime ministers of Iran. Y'all gotta beat it in the chat.
Why do we have to name them?
I'll answer your question. So the reason why I'm mostly
Wait, let Summer go. Summer said it.
Oh, I'm sorry, Summer. Go ahead. I did too, but go ahead, Summer.
I'm on the side that America doesn't have to go to war for. For people to say that Iran did this without the consent and the help of America is so laughable to me. This is done with American consent. This is done with American intelligence. This is done with American weaponry. And for me personally, no, I'm not going to war. How many times does America have to go to war for Israel? You do realize we went to war to Iraq for Israel too, right? Okay.
No, we went
Oh, because they had weapons of mass destruction? And who told us that?
Hold on, because to be correct, listen, my name is Lou. Don't be mad at Lou, be mad at the facts, alright? We went to war. Yeah, that's my new catchphrase, man. Don't be mad at Lou.
Why did we go to war?
Let me give you the facts, Queen, alright? First of all, we got bombed, 9/11, right? And we thought, right, mistakenly, that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction. So that's why
that.
It was a lot of intelligence. The CIA, the Israeli, the ID. Wait, hold on. It wasn't just Israel, though. It was a bunch of intelligence groups that we worked well with. So Israel warned us about a bunch of terrorist attacks that was actually true. And then, sometimes they fuck up, right? But these are our allies, all right?
Did you read Colin Powell's book?
Yes.
Before he died? Yeah. The one he wrote before he died talking about 9/11.
What's the name of it?
And the intelligence.
What's the name?
I'm just asking you, did you read it?
Wait, you don't know the name?
Did he read it? Name of a book he didn't name.
Can
destruction.
Chaotic summer. What about the book?
Oh, Dean, you're gonna start whining again to talk? Jesus.
She's in mid-sentence, bro. She said some other book. Bro, she don't even know the book, bro. She's Googling a book she hasn't read. She's asking about a book that she don't even know what the book is. It don't matter.
Well, people are right. We knew there were no.
We went to war because 9/11 or that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction, then we have no conversation here.
We knew they didn't have any weapons of mass destruction. The United States knows all of the countries that have weapons of mass destruction, literally, right? You can't just go to Kroger and buy a nuclear warhead. It's either going to be scientists, engineers that created from a very, very, very small group of people. They know every single person that even can create such a thing. We're the ones that sell most of those things. They don't ever let the United States intelligentsia, as well as Israel and the Mossad, tell you they don't know a goddamn thing. Just like they claim not to know that those people were coming through the tunnels to attack that festival. But I'm gonna go back on mute.
Wait. Hold on. Let me correct the misinformation, all right? So it wasn't just Israel, because I know we're gonna do this big bad Israel, and y'all think they got mind control over Americans, and we got mind control over them. We run them, they don't run us. So President George W. Bush, right? He claimed in multiple speeches that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction and posed a threat, right? So if you know about the 2003 State of the Union, right? He referenced. Let me read the quote. Wait, so he referenced that. Well, I gotta find it now. He basically referenced that about Iraq having. Hold on, let me find it. Anyways, but he talked about in the State of the Union 2003 that they had weapons of mass destruction. Vice President Dick Cheney also said that they have weapons of mass destruction. Colin Powell, yeah, you're right about Colin Powell. He delivered a UN speech in 2003, and he was talking about using satellite images to intercept conversations to argue Iraq was hiding weapons of mass destruction. But he said he later regretted that speech. So Colin Powell said it, and then he pivoted. Do you think Colin Powell got the information from?
No, he didn't get the information from.
One second, let me say this real quick. You mean Dick Cheney, VP Dick Cheney, who was with Halliburton that made billions of dollars? Because I know some people that went over there and made hella bread. They made hella bread over there. Let me finish, because you didn't have to pay U.S. income tax when you went over there. Halliburton was recruiting like crazy for Houston. I know a couple of people went over there, made a couple of $100,000. So Dick Cheney was lying. He was fleecing the government for Halliburton. And we know why he shot. I sure did, because it's capitalism. Am I complaining? You fake Republic?
Wait, hold on, before we finish. I'm doing this for everybody. I don't care if you're a man, woman, all the ad-libs, shit. All right? And I just can't do the 100 ad-libs when I shit, because my food haven't came, I'm already irritated, because these niggas fucked up my order. And I had to resend the shit back. So,
Can you make a queue? Just a quick one.
Yes. So if anybody want to talk, just wait. You ain't got to say, all that other stuff, just wait. All right, we can continue.
No, that's what I was saying. Oh, yes, sweetheart. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm angry. I'm angry.
Mommy has to repark the truck. Yeah, so do you have your key? Okay. So what I was going to say is Cheney is not a credible source because Dick Cheney is probably one of the most diabolical people that we've ever had in office. Like, people were terrified of that man. If you don't know his relationship with Halliburton, you need to look that up. They pretty much built the federal government for billions and billions of dollars. Remember, they had the contractors over there. They were recruiting civilians to go over there, and like you didn't have to pay U.S. income tax if you were employed overseas. So Cheney is not a good source because Halliburton made so much money during that whole damn Iraqi war. We knew well they didn't have.
No, you get shot. Nah, see, first nigga asked you, get fucked down.
No, I'm happy to talk about how I was a Republican and a conservative, right? Like, I would rather at that time that it be the U.S. making these choices and decisions, pretty much just like now. We have always controlled the narrative, just like Lou said. We like to have the narrative out there like, oh, we're just a benevolent and kind country, and we're just helping out. Y'all know the U.S. has been on some dictatorship pretty much for the last century. But how do you think we get to enjoy what it is that we enjoy? I've never backed down from that, right? I would rather it be us than them, basically, at the end of the day.
So I totally agree with that, but I just think it's weird
It's fine. That was so smooth. He paused. That was smooth. Hold on, let me finish saying what I'm saying. I definitely agree with what you're saying. I just think y'all politics be selective though, because when if Trump were to have the same stance and do the same thing, he's a demon now. And that means an issue.
No one would ever say that. No one would ever say that.
But Lou, we're about to go to fucking war, aren't we?
No, wait. If you look at it right now, right? Hold on. Wait. Let's break this down, right? So currently in the world, right, we got militarization going on in democratic cities, right, where we got federal troops coming into LA, coming into Houston, coming into Atlanta, coming into Chicago, coming into New York. These are all democratic cities, right? And there's federal troops, that's federal intervention going on in these cities, right? Now we got one of our biggest allies at damn near the 51st state of the United States, right, in Israel, and they're going to war. Now, if y'all think America's not going to get involved, y'all got to be smoking ass, right? And this is so funny though, because Trump been talking about he's a peaceful president and there's no wars under him, and it's literally finna be one of the biggest wars in a while under this motherfucker, man. Trump, I thought we were getting, wait, hold on. The fact that Trump, we're supposed to be getting money under Trump, and we really finna go into a fucking war right now.
Man, we ain't getting we're not gonna get into World War. This is not
Catalyst. And we're gonna narrow the speaking engagement because it's gonna be a decent room. So run this like a real room. Let's do like 2 minutes, so let's squat, all right?
But Lou, in that region, America has a lot of allies, bro. Like the rest of the Middle East ain't really fucking with Iran like that. So
I'm pro-Israel because I'm pro-America, all right?
Bro, Turkey don't fuck with Iran. Saudi Arabia don't fuck with Iran.
Hold on, real quick. Every conversation is not for everybody, all right? So I'm assuming motherfuckers that just ad-lib and don't bring nothing to the table, right? If you just ad-lib and just try to ad-lib to people's points and don't bring nothing valid to the table, some information, I'll just shoot you. It's not personal, all right? Thank you. Continue.
You can't go after Catalyst because Catalyst.
Hey, listen, I've been on TikTok for the last week. Bro, they got some shit over there, bro, where niggas pay to get on stage. And they pay to remove niggas out the room, bro. Why everybody get money instead of IGB? Man, we ain't get no motherfucking money over here. Man, we some broke ass niggas.
So
hold on, let me finish saying what I was saying, because I just looked at
yelling Fridays, you just spoke 3 times.
I know, I didn't get to work. Somebody interrupted me, bro. I didn't get to finish all because I just looked at the thing. I just looked to make sure when it comes to major military power in the Middle East, Iran does not have no allies, bro. Their allies are people like those smaller countries and shit that really don't have no air force or none of that shit. Turkey don't fuck with Iran. Saudi Arabia don't fuck with Iran. Qatar don't fuck with Iran. Dubai don't fuck with Iran, brother. Like they don't. Their allies is like Hezbollah and all the little ass people. Their biggest allies is Russia and China.
I'm about to create a shoot policy. Anybody you can shoot people for a certain amount. Yeah, I heard all the niggas getting money in the other rooms, man. Somebody keeps saying Plan B getting money, man. IGB finna get some money, man. All right.
So here's the issue. We gotta pay attention. Trump was
in Catalyst next.
It's on Catalyst.
We got enforced the keyword. Like,
it's on Catalyst. It's on Catalyst. Like Catalyst, though.
The reason why the United States went to Iran was none of those lies that Trump or Colin Powell pushed. What Vicky said, it was about money and control. It was about the U.S. messed up on their intelligence. That was just that had nothing to do with Iraq. So they Cheney's right-hand person took the blame, and when Bush left, he would not pardon him. They went to Iraq to primarily it was about oil and strategic interests. Who are the biggest oil servicing company in the world at that time? In the United States? Halliburton. Go look up Halliburton. Halliburton was instrumental in creating what's called a new business structure that completely changed everything. It was Halliburton. It was about money. Dick Cheney, money. Period. Everything else was just noise. Just all noise. And the guy said Iran's allies, Syria, Iraq, Russia, China, and then they had these militant political groups called Hezbollah. So the fact that Israel saying they did a preemptive strike against Iran, the United States, highly probable that it's getting involved. By the way, there are more than 2,000, up to 4,000 troops here in Los Angeles. There are more troops here than there are deployed in Syria and the Middle East right now.
This is normal shit, and the reason why this is normal shit is because the United States has been trying to stop the proliferation of nukes in Iran for over 10 years. I mean, Obama was doing it, but when Obama was doing it, he tried to appease Iran, and now we're doing a different strategy because Iran has been stoking up proxy conflicts, just like the United States. It's a chess game, and I don't think it's going to lead to World War III because they're trying to stop it before it happens. If Iran gets nukes, then it's going to be World War III. But stopping them from getting nukes before they get it, this is just typical shit. And really, this is just the same type of narrative that's been running for the past 10 years.
Did Trump kill a chemist under his administration?
He did. He assassinated him on some James Bond shit. He assassinated one of the nuclear scientists. Like but it was in conjunction. It was in conjunction. And Trump did assassinate one of their scientists. So this is something that's been happening for a long time. The United States is trying to play the good cop. Now they're playing the bad cop. It's just part of the game.
Wait, before the new people go, hold on, they don't play this. It says, Israel military says that at the end of the operation, there will be no nuclear threat. Israel has targeted senior military and political officials in Iran. Israeli officials says that Iran nuclear program is an existential threat. The Associated Press reported that Israeli official has confirmed attack targeting Iranian nuclear sites. And also, Israeli officials said that Iran has enough material to make 15 nuclear bombs within days. So, I was going to play a live clip if y'all want to. And I know y'all got this Muslim allegiance. Iran is, they're not Sunni, they're Shiite. Alright? So, Sunnis be beefing.
So, bro, here's a couple of things. This isn't really routine. Trump was in the Middle East last month, and if you notice something unique, he skipped over going to Israel. He didn't meet with Netanyahu. Political analysts engaged as a question, and what was said was Trump feels Netanyahu is an impediment to peace. And this was also buttressed by the U.S. working with Hamas directly to have hostages released, where they actually cut out Netanyahu. Now, as the reports are going around, Trump full-throatedly saying the U.S. is not behind this. We didn't encourage Israel to bomb Iran. As sort of incredulous as I am towards Trump, I believe him. Trump is concerned about ushering quote-unquote peace for his own self-aggrandizement. He wants a Nobel Prize, they said. Said he wanted from Ukraine and Russia to the Hamas-Israel situation. I genuinely think he wants to foster some sort of quote-unquote peace. This is going to be great for his legacy. I don't think he's on board with Netanyahu. I believe this was a rogue move by Netanyahu. I think the Iranians are not stupid. Israel's not going to annihilate their sort of. I don't even trust their intelligence. So this notion that they're proliferating towards a nuclear, or they're trying to gain nuclear weapons. I mean, they've been saying this for 10 years, and they say, oh, they're 6 months away. They've been saying this for the last 8 years. So at what point do we, sort of doubt what the IDF and Israel intelligence are saying? So, again, this is just...
Hey, Dean, this is not about right or wrong, it's about interest, right? And what we do in the media, we'll try to create a moral compass about right or wrong, and you're falling for that right now, all right? This is about interest, all right?
No, I agree, but what I'm saying... So why didn't Trump go to Israel? That's unprecedented when he was in the Middle East. What else did he do? He had significant arms deals and other deals with Saudi Arabia, the Qataris, and so forth. So
What is he doing with Columbia, Dean?
With Columbia?
Right, Columbia University. Are you not aware that a few days ago the Department of Education literally threatened to take away the accreditation of Columbia University? And do you want to know why? Because they refused. Yes. So what is Trump doing here? There's no reason to go visit Netanyahu when you're literally on the phone with him every day. You know the reason that he's also going against Harvard? Because of the anti-Semitism. So,
if I could finish.
Oh yeah, let him land, because, hold on, Dean,
well, you said 2 minutes.
Hold on, let Dean land, and then it's on, because I want to pass it to my brother D. He's an expert in geopolitics.
Okay.
And then I'll pass it to Congress, too, Congressman John Kitover. I think he's a Republican. What's up, brother? How you doing? All right, Dean, continue.
Yeah, those things are superficial. There's no meat on those bones. He's throwing crumbs to various constituents. When you're talking about geopolitical sort of maneuvers and the significance of that, Trump not going to Israel or meeting with Netanyahu in a Middle East tour, you're out of your mind if you don't think there's some significant political implications to that. Again, working directly with Hamas. Again, him literally saying, I'm in dialogue with Iran concerning some sort of nuclear weapons, nuclear deal. He wants an agreement, right? Netanyahu is operating rogue, as he does, and he's trying to throw a splinter in that, because he doesn't want an agreement with Iran. He wants a pretext to go to war with Iran and to throw the Middle East into further chaos. I land.
All right, Mickey, you want to respond? If not, we go back to the queue.
No, I'll just respond really quickly. To say that Netanyahu does anything rogue when this man literally orchestrated the biggest save in geopolitics, because a lot of us may not remember, they were going to put his ass in jail. Netanyahu was on trial, right, for doing some icky shit. And then, surprisingly, and of course my heart goes out to all of those people that were killed, we have Hamas on the end of decades back and forth, that was somehow, when Israel controlled every single thing about Gaza, they were able to get in all of these terrible, terrible things and do a lot of harm to this festival where there were also Americans. Golly gee willikers. And somehow Netanyahu avoided the criminal trial and everything was kind of put on hold. So for you to say that Netanyahu is rogue is like saying that Putin is rogue. Excuse me? That man is a tactical strategist. He always has been, which is why still, after all of these centuries, the United States gives money to Israel, despite there being up-and-coming new countries in the Middle East that we could absolutely substantiate to get our information. So if you think that that man with ties to Kushner and Trump is doing anything without the full 10,000% support of the United States military, funding, Congress, and president, you have another thing coming. U.S. presidents do not attack Ivy League institutions such as Columbia because they're quote-unquote being accused of being anti-Semitic, right? Maybe that happens in your country of origin, but it's never happened in the United States. I land.
So, I'll be quick. What I'm saying to you is Trump has allegiance to Israel. He has allegiance to a Jewish constituency in this country. But he understands the red line. Netanyahu's going rogue because he's been cut out of various dealings. He doesn't like that. He wants to throw a firecracker into things. This is quite clear. We're talking about Donald J. Trump. When has he ever been abashed
making all of these decisions. The man who thought that origins was pronounced orange and didn't know what the word meant. Bless your little heart, Dean. Bless your heart.
All right, appreciate y'all. That was good. All right, D grade.
Can you hear me?
Yes, D grade. Israel. Give me the last man. Yes, D grade, Congress, and then ambassador.
I think what Dean actually said has some valid points, but I will say this: presidents can say that they have no involvement, but it doesn't abstain the administration or parts of the intelligence community, assets, programs, projects from supporting or even adhering. Anthony Blinken, counted to what some people might not have known, actually served in the Biden administration and also had some affiliation and ties to the state of Israel. The Biden administration said one thing, but they had members of the cabinet that were saying the opposite and in some cases supporting. And again, we know presidents lie, but to the point that Dean said, he has an interest that, regardless of what Netanyahu may be trying to do, he still supports Israel. But he has an interest on trying to be the president that brings about peace. I don't agree with it, but it's something that I think he's trying to do. Cutting off Netanyahu and trying to negotiate directly with Hamas, or even in some cases putting a trusted ally in Witkoff to be the mediator or conduit when it's dealing with the Russians, or dealing with Hamas, with Israel. I think he is trying. Now, he is right where Bibi Netanyahu is, to some cases, an animal that is cornered and is willing to do just about anything and everything. It doesn't necessarily mean that some parts of the administration did not know. I think that this is also a little bit odd. There was a leak that came out the last couple of days, and even today in the morning, that the IRGC and some of the Iranian intelligence said that they obtained documents saying that Israel was helping a European country, we don't know which one just yet, or we don't know if this leak is true, obtain a nuclear weapon. That same leak also today disclosed that the head of the IAEA is in some cases affiliated with Assad and has been working not in the best interest, but trying to mediate or observe and get back analysis in regards to where Iran's nuclear program is exactly. So the analysts can come in and say one thing, and we can go back and give a completely different result, as he has his interests that are completely different to the reality of Iran trying to
He said, I guess they don't know what else to do.
their nuclear program. I think what occurred today
well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to Al Qaeda? And he said, no, he says there's nothing new that way. They just made the decision to go to war with Iraq. He said, I guess it's like, we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we got a good military, we can take down governments. And he said, I guess if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem has to look like a nail. So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, are we still going to war with Iraq? And he said, oh, it's worse than that. He said, he said, I just got this down from upstairs from the Secretary of Defense office today, and he said, this is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years. Starting with Iraq, and Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran.
To the infrastructure that some of those Gulf states and monarchies have.
The truth is about the Middle East is, had there been no oil there,
supply chains, all that stuff is a significant threat.
nobody is threatening to intervene in Africa. The problem is the opposite. It has to infrastructure to intervene in Saudi Arabia, and there's no question that the presence of control very much problematic, sparked great power involvement, whether that was the specific.
Oh, maybe he had to talk to the baby.
Problematic, and I do think that Trump is.
Hold on, go back like 30 seconds. You cut out.
30 seconds? That nigga needs to
Like 10 seconds. Okay, sorry.
Sorry, I do think what Dean said is right. Because even if you listen on some of the cables in regards to the situation with Russia and Ukraine, the Russian government is trying to give Trump a quote-unquote political win. Because they understand that's within its interest, even if it's the best of a bad deal. So to some degree, if one takes that pattern, I do trust what Dean said, which he's trying, and BB understands that, which is why, again, he's decided to go rogue. Because, again, if Iran does retaliate extensively, the United States and those other monarchies within the region will go in support with whatever retaliation that Israel and the U.S. then does there. But we have to wait and see. But I don't think BB did this with Trump knowing, but it doesn't mean parts of the administration, the intelligence community, did not know. Someone always knows and supports, and we just have to wait for the information to come out.
That was good. Shout out to you, Lord. Shout out to my boy D. Gray, man. That's my South African brother. All right, let's pass it.
Wait, I have a quick conspiracy theory, Lou.
Wait, hold on, because I was gonna get my what's crazy. So, y'all remember recently, right? Because I think I'm not saying that people know in America, but I do think shit be happening for a reason. So like, they've been trying to create a bill called Anti-Semitism Awareness Act, which is a dope. I think Black Americans did create. So it was passed May 1st, 2024, 320 to 91 vote. It proposed to amend Title 6 of the Civil Rights Act to include the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance working definition of anti-Semitism, and which is like, so that their definition is basically like traditional anti-Semitic hatred, Holocaust denial, Jewish conspiracy theories, some form of anti-Zionism or criticism of Israel. But they want to enforce it at schools, colleges, losing federal funding, right? So, and then there's a recent travel ban.
Moving on to other news, the United States has ordered non-essential employees to leave its embassy in the Iraqi capital, Baghdad.
Happening. Y'all don't think they kind of knew this was happening, was going to happen all along? That's why they kind of put these parameters in place for the travel ban on the majority of the countries. Not majority Muslims, but the country that they put the travel ban on was majority Muslim. So do y'all think this correlates or no? So y'all think like this is this like is it just like they do?
Yeah, it's strategic.
That's what I'm saying. Alright, hold on. Before you go, it's on Congress and then it's on Congress. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. I'm running in Illinois. I'm a congressman-elect. The point is,
Wait, you running in Illinois?
I'm running in Illinois against Darren LaHood in the 16th District, Rockford, Bloomington, Peoria.
Okay.
So the U.S. has ordered all non-essential personnel out of Baghdad from the largest embassy on the planet. As you said, these travel restrictions were put in place. And don't forget, in the U.S. now, we are deploying Marines to major U.S. cities where there could be sleeper cells. I think this is all in anticipation of Israel launching an all-out strike on their nuclear facilities. And there's going to be an escalation in violence. What do you think people do in the summer? They get violent. So it's coming, and I think that Trump is going to pull Michael Corleone, and so is Benjamin Netanyahu, and they're going to cut the head of the snake, and the head of the snake is in Iran.
That was good advice. That was good. All right, pass it to OG and I'll reset the room, and I'm going to play all these videos because there's some crazy shit I'm seeing right now.
I think you fully underestimate the power of divine intervention. You have to go back to the Shah of Iran and back to Jimmy Carter and his appointments during a time when there was a lot of potential for peace. Yeah, that's not good. I think the last thing, not the thing, was the Prime remarkably. For instance, when Jimmy Carter appointed Andrew Young as the ambassador to the United Nations, that was a press conference, and one of the questions, what will we do in case A and case B? And he said, we haven't arrived at a decision, but whatever decision we make will be in the interest of justice and fairness for both parties, or all parties that are involved. And when he said justice and fairness, the Zionists attacked him and just blew him out of office. Jimmy Carter didn't help him, we the black people didn't help him. No one could pump life back into Andrew Young as a negotiator or as an ambassador to the United Nations, specialty managing the peace agreements with the Palestinians and the Israeli at that time. And I say to you that this is not peace, this is war, and that's just some fake news that you saw with Bill O'Reilly say what the no spin zone or the buck stops here, meaning that it really actually is a spin zone, and he's gonna pass the buck. And as Donald Duck Trump, you know war means war then. You just have to use reverse psychology that you use to figure out some of these things in the world picture. And I will land my plane on the fact that justice is in the midst of, and I do support my world president in the person of Ibrahim Traore, and he's going across the world, bringing the right aura of social political leadership but see, we the people, if you already got the elitists, those people under the protection of the circle alphabet soup, meaning FBI, CIA type, caliber Mossad, British intelligence, those caliber people are making these things happen. That's where the wars pop off behind intelligence. I'll let my play, but those are some of the facts as I know them to be. And I still say my. No good tonight.
All right, let me reset the room. We're talking about Israel bombs Iran, Trump versus liberal cities. There's currently federal military intervention, National Guards being, I think 5,000 National Guards was just brought to Texas. I don't know about Chicago yet, but I know Las Vegas, and currently Los Angeles. And there's a huge protest. This is kind of funny though, because it's like coincidentally that this is going on in liberal cities. There's military interventions
my boy over there on you to put the heat on you because you're not doing what the fuck I want to do. Okay? Did everybody else hear that, or did everybody hear that?
He literally said his representative is going to Oman this weekend to continue negotiations with Iran. That's what the Trump administration is doing.
Wait, Trump also said. Trump also started.
Thank you. That's what Trump said. You're telling me in the middle of that he's going to sanction Netanyahu to bomb Iran? That doesn't make any sense. Trump full-throatedly said he doesn't want Israel to do this.
plans to give those weapons, nuclear weapons, to its terrorist proxies. That would make the nightmare of nuclear terrorism all too real. The increasing range.
Okay, what is going on with the emojis? Oh my goodness, that is so cute. Whatever, that sounded like Donald Trump. 50 million thousand for real.
Hold on. I gotta kick out the room. Hold on.
Okay, this is Ron Warriors real text.
Like, what the fuck?
And that was Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu giving a statement on the airstrikes that Israel has just conducted on Iran. I want to bring in CBS News Chief Foreign Affairs Correspondent Margaret Brennan. Margaret, I know that you are talking to your sources and gathering information. What have you learned so far?
Yes, we've been trying to communicate with sources here in the U.S. and overseas. What we know is what the Prime Minister just announced, that these were Israeli jets targeting sites within Iran that he says were related to the nuclear program that Iran has claimed for so long is entirely peaceful. U.S. intelligence has been concerned about the level of highly enriched uranium that Iran had stockpiled, but had assessed that Iran had not yet decided to pursue a weapon and that it would take some time for them to do so. In his statement there, the Prime Minister said Israel's assertion is that Iran had stockpiled enough nuclear fuel for 9 weapons and that they could build one in less than a year. He did not explain why he felt tonight was the night it had to be done, that some of those targets were hit. I do want to point out that Secretary of State Marco Rubio has released a statement making clear the United States did not provide support in terms of offensive support to this military strike. It didn't participate in it, but Israeli officials are telling me that the U.S. Was aware.
Whoa. So somebody lying.
Thank you. I was right. Exactly. Oh my God, Donald Trump lied.
Hold on. Let's continue.
And these strikes. In the reporting of this throughout the day, it has been a back and forth as to when a potential strike could take place. What we know at this point is just what the Israeli Prime Minister has detailed. We don't know yet if this completely kills the diplomatic option that President Trump said he preferred and was sending his chief negotiator to talk to Iranian officials about this Sunday in Oman. We're waiting to hear from the administration if they think that diplomacy is in any way an option. Why would that still be necessary? Well, we don't know that Israel was able to actually take out the entire nuclear program. Iran has underground facilities that the U.S. is uniquely positioned to be able to destroy. And the U.S. has said that it would be hard for Israel to actually destroy the nuclear program without U.S. help. So this may be a damage to this program, but not destruction of it. We'll just have to wait to see what more becomes apparent in the next few hours and days in terms of assessments of the targets hit. The Prime Minister said it could last for a few days.
And President Trump is planning to hold a cabinet meeting tomorrow at the White House. I'm curious, what are you going to be watching for in that meeting?
Well, I think all of us will be chasing all details we can, just as we were when we heard yesterday there was a meeting internally in the White House to try to assess options and what the U.S. would do. One of the first indications we had that something might be happening imminently was the announcement the Pentagon made that they were advising the dependents of military personnel in the Middle East to consider leaving. And that was one of the first indications that the U.S. was concerned about blowback for the United States for its actual citizens living abroad. We have to watch what happens here, including what the fallout is in the region, not just as strikes against the United States, perhaps in retaliation, but whether that can be avoided. And I know that diplomats in the region and the UN were concerned that carrying out a military strike against a nuclear facility could have damage, a fallout, and people need to learn more.
In that statement, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that this was all to report what he said was a plan from Iran to destroy Israel, another plan. Can you go into that a little bit more, what he meant by that?
Well, Prime Minister Netanyahu, as he said in a recorded statement in English,
They speaking all Persian.